Well, hello and welcome to this 2 adventure. A slot became available in my busy schedule to actually go out for a ride. We're going to cover a few things on this ride before I get into my 3R's challenge. Firstly, here's where we recovered the bike to. And in a second you're going to see where he fell off the fucking thing. I'm talking about my brother, obviously. So we come round this bend, just opposite the bus stop. Here. Just there. Oh, piss. Yeah, I didn't know about these roadworks, but yeah, just back there by that lamppost is where his front wheel locked up, doing 30 mile an hour. Luckily, silly bastard didn't go over the handlebars, he put it down. Fucking... yeah, very lucky lad. All he did was, it looks like it locked up on the left hard and it's just thrown him to the right. And due to the amount of dust on the discs, they didn't grab as tight as they should have done. Which, all in all, he's very lucky. Because whenever you hear about someone's brakes locking up, you hear it's the horror story of them going over the bars sort of thing. You know, doing the concrete frog splash. Which, luckily, he didn't do. So, yeah. Okay, the 3R's. I was put up to this by Rider Skills in Australia. All my video ideas seem to be coming from Australia at the moment, but yeah, Rider Skills in Australia nominated me and 2 others who he quite likes to do the 3R's, which is the 3 reasons we ride the bikes we ride. At least that's the way I interpreted it. For this, we need to go back to the year 2000, I believe. Or maybe, I just had a KFC. Oh, those Zinger burgers. I'm not a spicy person, as I've told you, and as you know from my 500 special, but my god, that's repeating on me. Alright, so, reason number 1 why I ride this particular bike. Back in the early 2000s, I was in high school, first year. One of the lads who I was a friend / acquaintance of was reading a Max Power magazine in school. Can you believe it? That's the kind of area I'm from, get used to it. If you don't know what a Max Power magazine is, then I'll explain it. Basically, it's half naked women, half motor vehicles. Normally cars, occasionally bikes. Anyway, he's flicking through it and he pulls the poster out the middle, back when magazines had posters in them. And on one side is a car with literally every Halfords accessory stuck to it. It looks abysmal, and I was just like, ugh, completely unnecessary in my honest opinion. But then he looks at the other side and he goes, B, you can fucking have this. Just as a reference, my nickname in high school was B. There were 5 Daniels in my year, so my name for my entire life in high school and onwards has been my surname of BB. That'll come up later in the video and you'll understand why. So yeah, you said, B, have this. I was like, for fuck's sake. And I looked at it and I looked at the car and I was like, that's disgusting. I have no interest in that vehicle whatsoever. And I turned it round, and on the back was a 1998 ZX6R in green and purple. Funnily enough, the exact one I'm riding today. I don't know if it's the exact one, but it's the exact model. Green and purple, single headlight, same markings, same fairings. Gorgeous. Anyway, that was on my my wall for about a year. Well, that puts a bit of a downer on my plans. They've closed that road. Shit. Right, let's find out what I'm going to do here then. Have they really closed the road? Oh, those bumbling fuckboys. Just to make sure. Meh. Okay, R number 2. Now, this is not advice. I would never advise anyone to do what I did. I walked into my MOT centre at the time, which I'm going back to shortly, with my 125. And while it was getting seen to, I looked into their little showroom, and right there, directly opposite the doorway, was the bike I'm currently sitting on. in all its splendour, the 1998 ZX6R G1, right under a show light, looking gorgeous as all hell. So while my MOT was done, I was basically walking around this bike dribbling, and it was just bringing back nostalgia. And we're talking like, shit, 10 to 13 years of nostalgia, because I was first year of high school back in 2000, because I'm old. And I just stood there looking at this gorgeous machine like, wow, can't believe it. And they wanted 1,700 quid, which was so far out of my leagues at that time. But I told myself, you know what, if that's still there when I've got the money, I'm going to come back and I'm going to get it. It's alright, I wasn't going to go there. It's just as fucking well. So, I basically told myself, you know, if I ever have the money, I'm going to go back and get that bike. This is where the non-advice bit comes in. I didn't research the machine, I didn't try the machine, I didn't sit on the machine, I didn't test ride. I basically passed my test, went back, it was still there, you know, like fucking destiny, I don't want to hear it. And I put my deposit on it, and then I think it was a week, 2 weeks later, I paid it in full. So I didn't have it all in one go. That was a week. So, put my deposit down, bought it. They said, when do you want it? I said, today. They said, okay, it's going to be about after dinner. Many of you have already heard this story, but basically I went off to the girlfriend's house in my car, thinking I'd done something really fun and cool, and I was like, God, I've got the bike I always wanted. She was supportive. I was like, this is awesome. And then just prior to dinner, I get a phone call from my girlfriend, not my girlfriend, my mum. Freudian slip. I get a call from my mum saying, what is this giant green and purple motorcycle doing on our driveway? Now up to that point, a 125 is the biggest she'd ever seen me or my brother ride. So then this ZX6R turns up on her driveway and she loses her shit. Quite funny. So, you know, I'm sitting, I go around and she bollocks me endlessly about buying a big sports bike, and she asked me the obvious questions. Well, do you know how much it's going to cost? And I was like, no. She was like, do you know how much it's going to cost you to insure? I was like, no. She was like, how much does it cost in fuel? I was like, I don't know. I was a proper child. And, yeah, we're on an adventure, so I wouldn't advise doing that. Because I never even sat on it. I didn't know my legs were too short for this bike. First time I learned that was when I first sat on it after I bought it. So there's two of the R's. And reason number 3 is I'm too skint to replace it. JK, but true. I am actually too skint to do anything other than this bike now. Windy. But no, I love this bike, you know. We've been through adventures. I think I've had it for 6 years now. It's laid across my leg more times than I care to mention. And I couldn't be without it. It's become a part of my persona. Like, it's quite common for people to say, where's the bike nowadays? If I go somewhere on foot or if I go somewhere in the car, which I've only had a few months, it's very common for people to turn around and go, where's the bike? And look past me like it was there. And I have had some bloody good adventures on this bike, I've got to say, you know, going down south to meet a subscriber, riding all over the country with it. I've had the bad adventures as well, where it kept breaking down on me. Just imbalance of the carbs that nobody could fix except one guy, and that was my report. You know, I've been on so many adventures with this bike, and that's the reason I ride it. I didn't know anything about this bike, 'cause I know Rider Skills, he used to sell the bikes he rides. I knew nothing about ZX6Rs or Kawasaki. In fact, going into it, I had very limited knowledge except how to ride that I've learned while passing my test. I didn't, like I say, I haven't always been a bike person. I've never gone out of my way for bikes until I became interested when I was in my mid-20s. So, yeah, I am the complete polar opposite of a poster boy for bikers. Because I did not learn about this bike, I did not learn about bikes in general, I just learned to ride them, passed my test, bought a big bike, cracked on with my day. And I've been going for 6 years under that. I can fix little things on the bike, but I gotta be honest, other than that I'm shit. Anything I put my hand to I break. Okay, here comes the promotional nominations part. And I'm actually sad to say, I'm not going to be able to nominate anybody. That's very peculiar. Oh, it's just an old boy struggling, never mind. Yes, most regrettably there will be no nominations with this video, because all of my A team and most of my B team are out of action at the moment. And you're thinking, what does Dan mean by this? What does Mr. Brit Ninja mean? Well, as I said earlier in the video, my brother crashed his bike the other week. Well, it wasn't even the other week, it was weekend just gone, Monday because he was on his way home from work. Or was it Friday? I don't fucking, Friday I think, Friday. Yeah, it was his last day in. And he was upset because he'd left his rhubarb there. So yeah, so Friday Martin dropped his bike. About 2 weeks ago, my second choice, Mr. Hooliganisms, had a choice between the back of an SUV or sliding on his face across the road. He made the correct choice to slide on his face, but unfortunately that means his bike, Evelyn's, off the road. I hope I said that correctly. Ow. There's my other obvious choice, which would have been Salvadorian Boy, but his bike's off the road with mechanical trouble. And there's the B team, which would be Donny Rocket, but his bike still isn't on the road despite his efforts because of a bad garage. You know what? Everybody I like who's on bikes has fucking had an accident. I think I should be more careful. But that's it, you know. Like the entire team I would normally promote and push to do a challenge like me are off the road at the present. What's this say? Road ahead. What the fuck is with everywhere being closed? Or is it just that one? It better be just that one. So yeah. No nominations, but I will give them all a solid shout out. Like Salvadorian Boy needs some love. I've not seen him on the socials recently. I haven't seen him much. I mean, I did see his Father's Day Instagrams with his lad and his dog, and they look amazing. You're doing really good, man. Hope you're well. Mr. Hooliganisms, like I say, he's been active, but then obviously threw his bike down the road, so he hasn't been since then. Much love, hope you recover and hope your bike recovers. My brother, David. Concrete frog splash, beautiful. Somebody else was telling it, like my brother was riding along and he looked at the floor and went, I wonder if that road's hard. Ah, yes it is. You can't write it really. So please go over and give those people some love. Also, shit. I've forgotten the channel name because I'm an idiot. Oh. Fuck. Is it Randy Wright? subtitle. Give some love to this guy as well. Obviously the four I mentioned above have all had shitty times with their bikes. They need some love. They definitely do. But Randy definitely needs some love after a recent event. Basically, I won't tell his story, but he got, you know, fucked up by some nasty fuckers, and he's going to be out of the game for a while. So just go over and give Randy rides, or whatever his channel name is. I'm so sorry, mate. Go over and give him some love, because obviously he needs some. Oh yeah, I've got to mention the group. The Facebook challenge group. Now, I've done a few of the challenges that have come out over the years, but I've never actually joined the group until recently, because Rider Skills told me to. So far so good, it's all looking great, and I would suggest anybody who does motovlogging go over there, because it's not just about the challenges, it's about community, about helping each other, and it's not really challenges as they say. It's more to do with the fact of giving each other ideas and something to vlog about when you're getting a bit low on ideas. So it's really good, so head on over and find that. Yeah. I'll also give a shout out to the support group as well, on Facebook as well. Obviously they're doing a lot of good work. That's where I found out about Randy and his issue, so head on over there if you're not already. But yeah, massive thank you for the 3R's challenge, Rider Skills. So yeah, wanted one since I was little, saw one when I was getting an MOT done, didn't know fuck all about them, but bought one anyway. Possibly my dumbest move ever, but turned out to be the best. Because obviously buying a bike untest ridden, and I didn't even know if it'd start or not. I literally went in, handed them a check for the money and said, drop it off at my house today. You don't do that. I would strongly suggest nobody does that. Not unless you want to get dropped a shit bike that don't work. I mean, I was so lucky. I was so naive, such a child. But I just bought the bike and assumed everything. So don't do that. 3R's, everybody, 3R's. Now I'm going to see a road sign that shares my family name, so woohoo, don't have to go all the way to London. You know what, I just realised I've left my wallet. Fucking idiot. Yes. Sweet. Right. I won't stop the video because I can't be fucked. The beautiful thing about that sign is, the BB way, is I can, whenever the missus says I'm doing something wrong, I say, it's the, and then put that thing up. For those of you on Instagram, you'll know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. Oh, covered in bites, bastard. So yeah, my surname is BB, B-W-A-B-Y. It's on my Instagram, it's not a fucking secret. I'm not ashamed to people to know it. It's a good name. Everyone says B-Bye and it pisses me right off. But never mind.